Hi, welcome to a new episode of Now What's Happening. Corey Alston, my spiritual brother, and I, we are here today to talk to you about something extremely exciting and upsetting. Hey, Corey, now what's happening?
Oh, now what's happening? We are going to talk about these unemployment benefits. They want to take them away. They want them gone. So you know what? I'm going to use one of your takes. Let's go to the tape.
Let's go to the tape.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce now calling for the end of the $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefit.
Yeah, David, that's right. I spoke with Neil Bradley. He's the executive vice president of the Chamber of Commerce just a couple of minutes ago. And he said that, this unemployment benefit, it might have been the right time last year to do that, but now the time has passed. They're calling for an end to this supplemental $300 a week in payments to workers, saying there's simply a worker shortage in this country. But I asked him, though, isn't there a wage shortage? If you're struggling to get people to come out to work, isn't that more about wages than it is about workers? Here's what he said.
Wages were a bright spot in this jobs report, right? So, wages were up about 0.7% here. So employers are responding. But remember, now employers are having to compete not just with each other for workers, they're competing with the government, who is paying people more not to work than they made working.
Neil Bradley is saying that workers here are really benefiting from this hot labor market. But for companies, it's really stressful. He said companies are struggling to get people to show up for interviews. They're paying bonuses to get people to interview. He said he even talked to one construction executive who said that he's just simply not taking new bids for new projects because he can't guarantee he's going to have the workers there to do the work. So the solution here from the U.S. Chamber's perspective, guys, is to lower that weekly unemployment benefit. And they say the time is now. And this jobs report is an indication of why that is. Back over to you.
Yeah, it's interesting, Eamon. It's obviously been a topic of discussion this morning, including with the Labor Secretary, Marty Walsh, earlier. But, we had Jan Hatzius, chief economist of Goldman Sachs, join us a little while ago. He points to seasonality and a number of other things, not necessarily this idea that people are being paid to stay home as the key reason why it came in with such a significant shortfall of expectations.
Yeah, look, that's right. And the Chamber of Commerce has been against these ideas from the start, right? They lobbied against some of these supplemental unemployment provisions early on in the negotiations around the package of relief to begin with, arguing that just this very thing would happen. So to some extent, they're making the point here that, they were right all along about this. But from their perspective, they're saying, look, we're simply paying workers too much from the government and companies can't compete with that.
Wow. Here's some interesting stuff. Okay, Amazon. Now we gonna talk about the unemployment. Amazon hired 500,000 people last year.
Wow.
$17 an hour.
$17.
So they're saying you don't need this $300. You can go work at Amazon.
Right.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
I know you got something to say. I know you got something to say. Come on. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I'm just trying to stay calm. I love what the guy from the Chamber of Commerce, he went over it so quick. He said, don't you realize that the economy has rose, the wages have rose 0.7% of 1%. Did you hear me say 0.7%
now,
of
you know
1%?
what? Now check this out. Now 0.7% of 1% is 7 cents.
Come on now.
It's
Come on
7
now.
cents. So if you are making, so let's say you made $100. Now you made $107.
7 cents. Oh, $7. Hold on. I think the main problem, though, is there's a memory issue. Before COVID and all of this, remember, we were fighting for the minimum wage. You and I, we've had multiple conversations about the minimum wage. Now, the reason we was talking about the minimum wage is because people weren't getting paid a living wage. There was a battle in it. There was a battle in Congress to lift everyone up, all right, Then COVID hit. Then people lost their jobs. I think we're missing the point. What's going on here is these business owners and corporations, they realize the value of the employee, even though they don't want to pay the employee. And now that the employee that's laid off has leverage by getting money from someplace else, oh, they so sad. They're so
come on.
unhappy.
It's an extra $300 on what you are getting. Now, mind you, this goes until September. All right. So this stays into effect until September. So they're just basically saying, you know what? They don't want to work. They just want the $300. Hey, I can get my hair done. Hey, I can get my nails done. Now, again, I'm just saying that I'm just being hyperbole, okay? We know that $300 is going to buy some food. We know that $300 is going to buy clothes for kids. We know that $300 to buy medicines, okay? Or to pay that light bill or gas bill. But they're thinking that, hey, we are buying some Nikes with that extra $300.
Hold on. Let me add a couple of more things to the $300 list.
Okay. What you got?
The kids have been out of school because of COVID. The kids are eating 3 meals a day, all day, while they're at home. They're eating all day. Before, the kids would go to school, get a little breakfast, a little lunch, get a snack of some sort. Then they'd come home in the evening and you cooked one meal. Now, for the parents that's at home, you're cooking all day long. You're making meals all day long. These young kids that are growing up and developing, they're eating all day. Who pays for that?
See, now, you know what? This goes back to our conversation about the minimum wage, right? Because
yes, it does.
Food prices have went up. Gas prices are went up. So you need this to feed your family. So by taking away, okay, all right, I lost my job. Now here's the thing that get me, which I actually think is fair. Most people think it don't, but I think it's fair. You have a restaurant worker, right, who may be making $3 to $4 on their base because they get paid in tips.
Correct.
Do I want to go back to that, or do I take this time till September to find me a full-time job that's going to pay me $15 an hour?
Let me add to that, because first of all, you're absolutely right. This little $300 gives a person some breathing room. Maybe they were working a job that they weren't happy with, and this gives them an opportunity to look for another job or maybe take some additional training. So this gives them another avenue to take. Whereas before all of this, they were stuck on a nowhere job, receiving a slave wage, if you will. And now, because they have a little bit extra to help them out, a little bit of breathing room, because they don't have to go in. Now they can really decide what they want to do. And I think the corporations now, they don't want you to have that breathing room. They don't want you to decide that you don't want to work there. Now, let me say this too now. These people that's getting this money, they're not getting insurance.
No,
they're not getting any of the other perks of working at a job. They don't have dental,
Medicaid, Social Security.
They don't have that. Their kids are not covered by insurance because they don't have insurance. Come on now. So this is not no glory time, $300. Let's be for real now. We know that $300 is really not any money. We know the gas prices are going through the roof. Every price in America has went up because of COVID. We know this. We're spending more money. All of our utilities have went up. We know this. So $300 in the larger scheme of things is nothing. So what the companies, but hold on, what the companies are saying is, hey, you've been making $1,200 a month extra. Listen,
that's right.
Come back to work. We'll take away that $1,200, and now you just have to buy gas and figure out how to pay for all that stuff $1,200 less. Why don't you do that?
Oh boy. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the other side. I'm going to take the other side. So, okay.
Come
Here's
on.
the deal. I'm going to take the other side of this. All right. You're getting an extra $1,200 a month on top of what would you getting. Now, again, I understand you got that, but there are jobs out here that you can work. I understand
Yes.
you don't want to go back, but the more people who go back, that is the less amount of funds that are going out.
Correct.
Which then allows us, and I know, here I am, and I'm not a Republican. What about the deficit? What about the deficit?
Goodness.
All right. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take the other side. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. Okay, you're gonna like this because you're gonna think this is slick. $300, the way they set it up, the $300 is discretionary by the state. So the federal government gave them the money and said, use this as discretionary dollars. That means if you want to pull that $300, state, you can. Now, I gave it to you. I did my part. I gave you the money to give to the people. But each state has to make up in their mind. If they now, you already know 10 states already gone.
Yes. You know, that's a very interesting point of view. My response to that, however, is that whenever someone says the deficit, then I immediately go back to where was the deficit when Trump gave billions and billions of dollars in tax relief to the richest 1% in the world. Where was the deficit then? Didn't we have a deficit? We did. And under Trump, the deficit has grown more under Trump than under the 5 last presidents. I mean, come on, the deficit is something that is used to really mobilize the right, but it's not for real. Now, let me give you an example. I live in Ohio.
All right.
It's a Republican state.
Mm-hmm.
Our governor is not talking about taking away the $300 because Republicans are getting the $300. Republicans are staying home. Republicans are getting us unemployment. Republicans. So it's not about so much the money. It's about the ability to have choice. And that's what it's all about.
Okay.
A living wage gives you choice. We've had this conversation before.
We've had it. But I had to play the other side. I had to play the other side because I agree. Actually, to me, I think that $300 extra a week gives you, like you said, that breathing room to say, hey, you know what? Maybe there's other jobs out there that I can actually go get now. I can apply. I can go through the process. To actually get a job. I mean, look. $17.
You don't have to take the first job that comes up, right?
Exactly. You don't have to. Again, I look at that worker, right? I look at that worker who was okay. We both love Ruth Chris. We love it. We both love us. So stay. Now, that worker who works at Ruth Chris, that waiter, gets paid $3 an hour. He makes his money, or she makes her money off of the tips or the generosity of the clients who are sitting there eating. Yeah. So you up here, you busting tables, you go in there and they leave you $5. But they've been sitting at this table for 2 hours. And they leave you $5. So that's $5, $3. So what? You just made $11?
Yes.
going through stress. Oh, it's not cooked right. Oh, can you take it back to the kitchen? Oh, it's not warm enough. So, I mean, you really can't blame them and say, hey, even McDonald's just announced today they're moving all their workers to $15 by the end of 2023. It's done.
I love that. I love it.
But you know, I already got my issue with that McDonald's thing, right? So, but
what they're not telling you though at McDonald's is that because they've implemented the kiosk system where you can just walk up and order.
Exactly.
They don't have as many people working, right?
Yes.
They don't have as many people working in McDonald's. So they've let people go. Yes, they came up with the $15, but they're using technology to offset that money. And let me just add in COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
let me add to your restaurant analogy though. Did you know, and I wasn't aware of this until a friend of mine told me about this, and that is that restaurants now are increasing your base pay and then taking a percentage of the tips. So you're no longer getting that $5, right? You're not getting the $5 off the table for the tips. Yes.
What?
Restaurant
they taking the money?
They're increasing your hourly pay and taking a percentage
that's deep, man.
of your tips. Yes,
that's
sir.
Deep. That's deep right there. That's deep. Because that's how those workers okay, even you go from $3 to $7.50, $7.25, the minimum wage.
Ooh-wee.
Okay. But you busting tables, you know, you've been out to eat on a Friday night, it's packed. Of course, you know, you like, oh, I'm gonna give him, you looking at your bill. Okay, your bill is $100. You doing a 20% rule, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no question.
All right.
No
and if they're
question.
good,
a little
you
bit
might
more.
go 25. Okay, you
Yes,
might go
sir.
25. So
Yes,
now, before, what you telling me before, because remember, we used to live it, remember you used to do cash, they'll put it in their pocket. So you put it on, so, oh my goodness. So they're basically, you writing it down, putting it on your credit card, and under the tips section, they taking your money.
That is exactly what's going on.
Because
that's
we
exactly
increased
what's going on.
Your pay. So, oh, you know what? You had a great weekend. You made $1,000, but I got to get my 15%. So,
no question,
you get $850.
No question. That and that's what's going on. That's what's going on. It is. And this is just one example. This is just one example with one area of business that the lowest man on the totem pole has been getting shafted for a long time. And for the owners now to be crying, like in the article there in the news feed, when they're talking about companies are saying they can't find workers. No, it's not that they can't find workers. The workers that they're trying to get are realizing what they've been getting. Your example with Amazon was just awesome because Amazon came up with it. Now, we know working for Amazon is brutal, working on the assembly line. But for them, and remember,
it's no joke now.
Remember, they tried to even form a union. It was so bad. But for them to come up with that pay and try to better the work conditions, I mean, come on now. What are you going to say now?
Check this out. You get benefits your first day.
See what I mean? Now, if you're a company, if you're a business owner, instead of crying about the $300, why don't you increase your offering? Make your job more attractive for this huge pool of employees that want to go back to work. Why don't you make your job more attractive and draw people in?
Wow. Well, see, you know what? Here's what I think was going to happen. I think that's going to happen. All right. I think what's going to happen is they're going to do that, but they're going to look for more skilled workers. And so for those workers who don't have those skills, you're still going to be unemployment. And then guess what? they're going to cut you off.
Yes.
Because now they're like, okay, no problem. We're going to take the most talented workers, give them $15.
Yes.
Sorry, hey, nothing personal. And now benefits are over in September. That $300, and again, guess what? In here, you done. And so
No question about it.
So now you don't have nothing, which is going to force you to go back to that job that wasn't paying.
And that's okay too. That's okay too. Even the Bible says that the poor will always be among us. And so that is what it is. But out of that group, there are people that are going into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Coming up with ideas and developing their own business and working for themselves. There are other people, though, are taking the time to go online and take some of these study courses to improve their value in the marketplace. And then there are other people who are using it as a choice to be able to get, instead of just getting one offer for a position, why not get 2 or 3 offers for a position, and then you choose on what you need for you and your family.
Wow. And I tell you, this is, man, we can talk about this forever.
Yes.
We can talk about it. You know what? So now we got to do a part 2 on minimum wage.
Yes.
We're going to have to do a follow-up on this minimum wage and combine that with the unemployment and see what happens.
Oh my goodness.
So, all right, man. Let's take us home. Let's get out of here. About because again, guys, you just don't know this subject. We talk about this all the time. So guys, always. Oh, by the way, hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
We want to hear from you. Again, thank you for watching. What?
Thank you.
Now
what's happening?
What's happening?
Come on now.